11:40 p.m. The North Atlantic is a sea of black glass. A mountain of ice emerges from the dark. The lookout's warning bell rings out. Too late. The impact is not a thunderous crash. It is a shudder. A deep, grinding vibration. But this is not the story of the collision. This is the story of the 15 minutes that followed, when the ship stopped fighting and started counting down. And Titanic's fate was sealed. On the upper decks, the sensation is strange, but not alarming. A subtle tremor underfoot, a long backward jerk. Passengers in their staterooms are woken, not by the impact, but by the sudden silence as the engines stop. Some stroll outside, curious. They find the forward deck sprinkled with ice. Children begin to play with it. There is no panic, no sense of danger, but 7 decks below, a different world, a universe of violence, steel shrieks and groans. Rivets, stressed beyond their limits, shear off and fly like bullets. In Boiler Room 6, leading stoker Frederick Barrett is on duty. A wall of the ship tears open. An eruption of black, freezing seawater bursts through the gash. Firemen scramble for their lives. Alarms blare. A watertight door begins its slow descent, sealing the room. Barrett and a few others just manage to squeeze underneath before it slams shut. They are the last men out. Behind them, the room fills with the roar of the Atlantic. 11:43 p.m. On the bridge, there is only confusion. Captain Smith rushes from his cabin. What was that? First Officer Murdoch reports the iceberg. An initial inspection by 4th Officer Boxhall finds no damage. The watertight doors are shut. The ship feels stable. For a few moments, there is relief. But the ship is bleeding out from an unseen wound. Deep in the hull, water is pouring in at an estimated 7 tons per second, 15 times faster than the pumps can handle. Down on the orlop deck, in the forward mailroom, sacks of letters begin to float. Postal clerks, woken by the flooding, begin a frantic, hopeless effort to save the mail, wading through waist-deep, frigid water. The water climbs the walls, 14 feet in just 10 minutes. While first-class passengers play with ice on the deck above, the crew below are in a desperate battle against the ocean. The ocean is climbing the ship, compartment by compartment. 11:50 p.m. The reports reaching the bridge are now frantic and contradictory. The mail hold is filling rapidly. Boiler Room 6 is flooded 8 feet deep. Boiler Room 5 is taking on water. Captain Smith understands he needs the one man who can see the whole picture. Thomas Andrews, the Titanic's designer. Andrews is summoned to the bridge, blueprints in hand. Then he descends into the wounded heart of his creation. He moves through the listing corridors, now tilting 5 degrees to starboard. He does not need to go far. He sees the dark water rising up a stairwell, mailbags floating past. He feels the deck vibrating from the strain. The fatal blow becomes terrifyingly clear. He races back to the bridge. He lays the blueprints on a table. Compartment 1, flooded. 2, flooded. 3, flooded. 4, flooded. And then the 5th, Boiler Room 6, not 4, 5. The number is a death sentence. Andrews looks at the captain. He does not raise his voice. The water will spill over the top of each bulkhead, one after another. No repair, no rescue, no survival math left to solve. The bow will drag the rest of the ship down. His diagnosis is quiet, unshakable. The ship will founder. An hour, he says, maybe 2. That is all they have left. 11:55 p.m. 15 minutes have passed since the lookout's bell. The architect's verdict hangs in the air. There is no more hope, no more doubt. The calm on the bridge is shattered by devastating certainty. Captain Smith understands the mathematical horror of their situation. More than 200 people on board, lifeboats for less than half. A quiet order cuts through the cold night air. Uncover the lifeboats. The iceberg was only the beginning. The real catastrophe unfolded in the 15 minutes that followed. In those minutes, the unsinkable became the unsavable. By the time the world realized Titanic was in danger, it already was.